Well, top of the morning to you. It is Friday, and we have finally hit the last day of the week. It is March 28th, 2014. My name is Mike Prince, and this is the Friday edition of the Sports Report right here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Now, if any of you listen to this program and you know that we're clearly and exclusively focused on the student athlete within the Waller County area, high school and collegiately. However, there has been a breaking story, a breaking report that has come out here recently that is definitely going to impact and change collegiate sports as we now know it. Northwestern University, which is a school located in Illinois, and historically has been a strong academic school, but here of late they've made some impact in the collegiate sporting arena, in particular football. Well, the University of Northwestern football players had gotten together and decided that they needed to form a union, and the National Labor Regulation Board out of the Chicago regional area, they agreed with them as of yesterday. So what does that mean? What it means is that the NCAA is going to really have to go back to the drawing board and reevaluate how it's been operating all these years. I was able to pull a story from the New York Daily News, and I'll read this quote, and I'll comment on it, and then we'll go from there. It says, in a decision that could fundamentally change what has for decades been called a plantation mentality between colleges and their athletes, the National Labor Relations Board said or sided with a group of Northwestern football players on Wednesday, calling them employees who have the right to collectively bargain. That, ladies and gentlemen, is major. Now, what do you mean? You know, I can hear people now saying, well, they're giving these guys scholarships for a good quality education, and that ought to be suffice enough. I've even heard people say that, you know, they ought to give away academic scholarships the way they give away football, basketball scholarships. Well, for the record, no one is going to pay to watch a kid make all A's, but people do pay to see a guy go 3 for 3 from the three-point range, see a guy run for 100 yards, a catch for 5 passes and 2 touchdowns. They do pay to see that, and it's being proven every day. Throughout this country, you have people or institutions that are building stadiums. Why? For the simple fact to get more people, which in turns creates more revenue. So who is it off the blood, sweat, and tears? That student athlete. Yes, student athletes do get an opportunity to change their lives if they take advantage of the opportunities. And for the most part, I would go out on a limb and say maybe 40% of these young men and women that have these opportunities probably would not ever be thought of remotely if it were not for their athletic abilities. However, you can't tell me that it is okay to provide a stipend for a band member to get a $200, $300 monthly stipend, and the student athlete gets nothing. I have seen firsthand how these student athletes have to live. I've seen how they have to sacrifice, and you know, there's so many do's and don'ts where you cannot give a student athlete, quote unquote, $20 for a movie and a burger because it's NCAA violations. But then you have schools that are making mega money. You got video games, you got apparel, you have jersey sales, and all these different revenues that the student athlete does not get a chance to benefit from. And then if he happens to get someone to show an interest in him, then it violates all sorts of regulations. When you have coaches making $3 million a year, you have athletic directors making 500 or $5 million a year. You gotta be able to draw all this back. How are they in position to make this money if it's not for the student athlete? Now, there was a quote in this same story that says the term student athletes is a term that colleges came up with to avoid compensation, according to Northwestern. They are employees of the university, which the labor board has recognized. Now, what that is simply saying is that when you're representing whatever institution you are an extension of that institution, as an employee would be. Some of the conduct codes that you are held up to are just as important as being an employee. So I guess the bottom line is, should the student athlete get paid? And I'm going to say yes. Now, right now, this is geared more towards men's football and basketball. They're going to further look at the quote-unquote non-revenue generating sports, such as women's basketball. They consider that a non-revenue sport, and baseball, soccer, and so forth. So right now, there is a lot of changes and a lot of challenges going on throughout the world of collegiate sports, as we noted right now. Now, it says something like this, that the ruling will probably apply only to men's basketball and football players because these sports and their TV contracts. You have schools that are jumping ship from conferences that they've been connected to for 30, 40, 50 years. And because they can get a sweeter TV deal, they jump. And I guess it's to make sure they get more classroom facilities or whatnot. However, they do not want that student athlete to be able to benefit. There's enough for everybody to gain something from it. Now, I'm not saying that you go out and give these kids $2,000, $3,000 a month, but be able to give these kids some type of way where they can enjoy some of their collegiate life. Yes, they're playing in vineyards that they'll probably never get a chance to play in again, but they're making a sacrifice with the wear and tear of their bodies. Some of these guys will never make it to the next level, and this will be all they have on. There was a study a few years ago where these guys are not graduating because their vision is to make it to the next level. And if they don't make it to the next level, you never hear from these guys again. Some more quotes from this New York Daily News report says that college sports are skyrocketing TV revenues, and they have generated billions of dollars for universities and colleges, and are now pursuing schools to share some of the wealth with the athletes who generate it. That's all it's saying. Just give them a piece of the pie. Give them a piece of the pie. We understand that it's a business, but let's be fair with some of the business. You just can't keep all the money. You can't keep all the money. So they're saying back in the 70s, there was very few educational institutions in the NCAA that were benefiting significantly from TV contracts. Now that time has changed. So why should they be the only ones to benefit from it? Let's share some of that wealth with the student athlete. The student athlete is a pure, driven source to be successful. Unlike the professional sports, they're driven behind the money. And I understand that, which is why we here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network choose to cover the high school and the collegiate ranking, because these kids, we see it every day. They're putting all they have out there just because they love the game that they're tied to, because they are involved in something that they have been attached to since a lad. So let's try to recognize and compensate some of these guys. Some of these guys will never touch a field once they play their last game, whether it be basketball, football, baseball, soccer, rugby, lacrosse, whatever the sport is. But they represent the university, they represent their families, and they represent themselves with in most cases, class, honor, and pride. Normally we don't cover this, but this was such a relevant topic that we had to take time and share with you about this on today. Now that I've gotten all that out of the way, I want to remind you that we are scheduled to broadcast the Texas Southern Lady Tigers and the Lady Panthers in the softball event today. They're supposed to play today at 3 p.m. and convene tomorrow with a doubleheader starting at 12 noon. However, the weather has been threatening. It has been acting like it wants to rain, but it still has not reared and let go. We'll see what happens. We'll be in contact with Coach Vernon Bland to see if they're going to continue this game or will they cease and destroy to another day. Want to remind you that the men's baseball team, they are en route. They'll be leaving to go to Southern to take on the Southern Jaguars in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And Coach was Scarlett Cullivan and the team. They were out at the baseball diamond on yesterday. The construction is about 85% complete. They are projecting for the first game to be played at home on the April 1st date, and everyone on the campus and everyone in the community is excited to see the completion of the baseball stadium. I want to remind you also that you can follow us on Open Mic Broadcast Network. That's our Facebook page, Open Mic Broadcast Network. You can like our Open Mic Broadcast Network page. You can follow us on Twitter at obn_radio. That's obn_radio. You can follow us on Spreaker. Sign up with us at Spreaker at Spreaker.com. Look for Open Mic Broadcast Network, and you will never miss a live event that we have. You will never miss a daily sports report. Go to Spreaker.com, look up Open Mic Broadcast Network, and register today. You can also dial our Listen Live line. It is 213-401-0037, 213-401-0037. You can catch up with some of the rebroadcasts, with some of the shows that you may miss throughout the week, and get all the latest and greatest information of what's going on at the Open Mic Broadcast Network and the world of Waller County athletics. Want to keep you on the notice that we are working diligently right now to include Wharton County Junior College Pioneer Baseball to the Open Mic Broadcast Network. We're working diligently to add the Red River Athletic Conference Baseball Championship right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. So we got a lot going on for you right here. And don't forget, you can go to our website at KTORradio.com. Go to the sports section. You'll see a little opportunity for you to become a listening partner for only $36 a year. $36 a year. I can't stress that, ladies and gentlemen. It will make all the difference in the world. Will you become a partner today? Thank you so much for listening. My name is Mike Prince. It is Friday. Don't care if it's an overcast day. It's Friday. Have a fantastic Friday. Do what you love and love what you do. My name is Mike Prince saying God bless, and we'll see you on the other side.